Hello, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name's Kim, and for today's reading vlog, we are gonna read sad books. I seen these books all over TikTok or YouTube, and so I wanted to, read books. My favorite thing to do is cry. I love a good book that can make me cry. I'm gonna start with 4 books. And it's gonna be these 4 right here. Me Before You, Pack Up the Moon, The Things We Left Unfinished, and The 7-Year Slip. I'm excited to read all these books. I'm ready to cry. What I'm most excited about right now is I'm getting back into reading. It's been a few months that I cut back on my reading a lot. Been struggling a little bit, but it's okay. I'm back. I'm ready and I want to read. So let's get into this video and let's start reading some books. The first book I'm going to start with is going to be The Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Obviously, if you know the movie, you know what the book's about, but I've heard the book's a lot worse. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on the books and everything that's happened. An hour to 2 hours that I finished Me Before You. If you guys noticed, I wasn't like sobbing. It made me sad. I had literally recorded a video halfway when I was halfway through the book and just noticed it had no audio. It was a great book. I give it 4 stars. I think it has a lot more detail in the movie, for sure it does. It literally made me tear up in a lot of parts that the movie didn't make me tear up. Just the only thing I didn't like is that in the movie the sister was very supported, I guess. Well, in the book she was too, but it's at the beginning, there's parts the movie didn't that they didn't put in the movie, and the book gave a lot of detail to how the sister was and the mom and the parents, how they treated her. And it was just a lot different. Obviously the book gives you a lot more details than the movies always do, but it was good. Hated Patrick, movie and book. Did not like him. Glad she left them. They're both sad. They are just great. The book makes me want to watch the movie now, but just kind of makes you think about life, But overall it was a great read. At the beginning of the book I could not get into it. I don't know what it was, but it was kind of boring, really slow. I guess, yeah, different movies are different. Maybe because I already knew what I was gonna read and what I was getting into, or what I was gonna get into. To me, it was kind of the beginning was kind of slow, but once I started, I kept pushing, it started getting better, obviously, and a lot more details were coming in, so I enjoyed that about it. The next book I'm gonna start, never heard anything about this. I just read the synopsis of this. It's called Pack Up the Moon. This kind of reminds me of P.S. I Love You, the movie. I actually have the book too because I want to read it, but this kind of reminds me of that. Lauren's disease progresses. Joshua struggles to make most of the time he has lived with life and comes to terms with the future. A future without the only woman he's ever loved. He's so consumed with running away to avoid the inevitable, and if I can't say that word, ending that he never imagines his life after Lauren. But Lauren has a plan to keep her husband moving from her. A plan hidden in the letters she leaves him, and those letters wind up every month and year after her death. Okay, it's kind of like P.S. I Love You, but I can't remember what P.S. I Love You. I know that it's him who passes, and he's the one leaving letters to her. I can't remember, but I think something like that. So it kind of reminds me of P.S. I Love You. So I'm really excited because I love P.S. I Love You. So I'm really excited of what this book brings. And it is different POVs. It's the guy's POV and then the girl's POV. hop on here and give you guys an update. I am like a little bit more than half in this book, in page 261. I haven't really recorded much on it. I've been reading on and off on my phone and the book. It made me cry a little bit. I was laying down on my bed and I was just reading through my phone and it made me tear up. It totally reminds me of P.S. I Love You, but I feel like this one made me a little more sad than I haven't read the book. I've seen the movie, and the movie makes me really sad. But I think in the movie, the guy is the one that actually dies in the book. So it's like a whole opposite of the movie. It made me cry a little bit. It's just, that part's really sad. I think I was actually really confused at first because I think when the book starts, it it goes like her point of view is going backwards in time and his point of view is going forward in time. So it's like basically like kind of after she passes, it goes forward, and then her point of view is like before I think right now I'm like 25 months before everything happens. So I guess like it explains from what the last time she was with her husband to like right now it's like to when she finds out what she has. So it's kind of confusing at first, but then you'll get it. And so far I'm loving this book. It has been really hard for me to read it because, as I've talked about, my grandmother passing, and she passed last year in August, and I feel like her anniversary is getting really close. And I talked to you guys about how me and her were super close and how it affected me, and honestly I feel like it's getting to me again. But it's like at the beginning of it, it was just a lot for me to read, so it took me a little bit longer to finish to get into the book, because I would like read a chapter or two and I would put it down because it was just getting me so emotional. But I feel like right now I'm in a good place to read it, and I feel like I've read a bit more than than I have been reading. Like I said, it's taking me a while, but I am absolutely liking it so far. And I've heard many bad reviews of this book, but I don't know, we all have different opinions, and like I said, I'm really liking this book. I'll come back and give you guys an update when I'm done with it. Hello. So update, finished the book. I actually read this book at work. I finished the book at work. I think it was like maybe the last 4 chapters. They were tough. I think there was one chapter which that one was very tough for me. Did I cry? No, because I was at work. But would I've cried? I would have sobbed if I were at home. But I literally had one of my coworkers right next to me, so I couldn't cry. I was just like, but it was really sad. I think there's like a part for me where it kind of like irks me that I guess like hit the best friend and the husband, whatever, they kind of tried to get together just to see if it worked out. So that's like one thing that I didn't like about the book. But besides that, everything else was like great. It was like, loved it. I want to say like 4.75, but I guess like that was the only thing that makes it a 4.75, so I can just bump it up to 5 stars because I honestly love that book. The ending was perfect. I don't know, I loved it, enjoyed it so much, so I'm really glad. I don't even know who recommended the book to me or where I saw it or anything like that, but it was really good. The next book I'm going to start is called The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. I guess this is the 4th wing writer. I didn't even know she had romance books, but I think this one has to do with, so this book is basically about 2 writers who are trying to finish, I don't know if it's her great-grandmother's book. Yeah, her grandmother's book, and I don't really know. I feel like this is like an enemies to lovers. So this one's about Georgia. She is like going through a divorce and everything, and then she moves to her grandmother's state. She goes to her great-grandmother's state in Colorado. And I guess like she finds a book. And there she meets Noah, She's like, he is the best-selling author of a million books where the cover is always people nearly kissing. He's arrogant in person as an interview, and she'll be down if good-looking winter of love stories thinks he's the one to finish her grandmother's final novel, even if the publisher swears he's a perfect fit. But as they read Scarlett's words in both the manuscript and her box of letters, they start to realize that Scarlett never finished the book. It's based on a real-life romance with a World War II pilot, and the ending isn't a happy one. Georgia knows all too well that love never works out, and while the chemistry and connection between her and Noah is undeniable, she's determined as ever to learn from her great-grandmother's mistake, even if it means destroying Noah's career. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna like this because it sounds really... It's just, I don't know. I've heard really good things about this, but it doesn't sound like a book that's gonna make me cry. But who knows? Anyways, let's start reading and see where this journey takes us. Hello, it's time for an update. I am 49% done with the book. So far, I don't think it's been a sad book. So far, it hasn't made me cry. It's been hard to get into it. It does go back and forth time. So technically, it's like 3 POVs. There's Georgia's POV, Noah's POV, technically Scarlett's and Jameson's POV. It's like not their POV, but it's telling their story of like the war in the 1940s. It goes back to when they met and everything, and then it goes to the present, Georgia and Noah, because they're trying to write or finish the book. But this is more like her life story. So when we go back in time, we are literally reading her story. Scarlett's story and Jameson's, which in my opinion, going back in time, loved. The present with Noah and Georgia, I have been so bored. Like, it's been so slow for me. I guess like getting to know their story, what happened. It's kind of fun. But I'm guessing it has to do with something. I don't want to guess. But I think I know the ending. Or not the ending, but what happens throughout the story. It's called Things We Leave Unfinished, and there's letters, and there's a war going on. I can kind of guess what's going to happen. Let's continue reading. Give you an update in a little bit. So basically we are reading Scarlett and Jameson's love story, and then Noah and, God, I forgot her name, Georgia. They're like falling in love, kinda. So you have like 2 love stories that you're reading on. So that's kind of cool. What the fuck? This is a totally different... It's a twist, plot twist. I didn't imagine none of this, but let's keep on reading. Hello, it's time for an update. I finished The Things We Leave Unfinished, and I really did like this book. It's really cute, but did I think it was sad? No. Did it make me cry? No. There was maybe a part where it made me tear up, and that's like pretty much it, but I didn't cry. And there was like this twist at the end where I was just like what is happening? But it's really good. And then I just started, I started the 7-year slip. I am 35% done with it. I heard this is also a sad book, that it's gonna make me cry. And I've seen a lot of reviews where there's people, like girls sobbing to this. So we'll see. I mean, because this is supposed to be like a sad books video, right? So far, there's only been 2 books that has like made me cry, soft cry. Actually 3. Well, 3 because it's like the same one, but not really. It has been The Way I Used to Be, Exodus from the Ravenhood series, and One Last Rainy Day, which is the legacy. It's they read what's it called, the Raven Hood Legacy, I think. So this one's the Raven Hood series and this one's the Raven Hood Legacy, which is Dominic's point of view from first two books. So those are the only three books that have made me sob, and I'm looking for the next one. So if you have any like really sad books that made you cry, comment down and let me know what books I should read. But for now, I'm gonna continue reading. It's getting to like the cute sad part, because she like basically already went, like basically this is a time travel book. Basically she goes 7 years in the past. This apartment's like magical, and she's already went back and she's met a guy. So I'm excited, so I'm gonna keep on reading and watch. I love watching YouTube videos while I read, so I'm like watching a video and I'm reading a book. Let's continue reading. Hello, so I finished The 7 Year Slip last night. So good. I couldn't put it down. It was just that good. It first started kind of slow for me, and then it started getting like, I want to say like maybe the third chapter started getting better and better and better and better. And once I got to like the last, I think I want to say the last few chapters, I was like mouth opened, and it was really good. Let's talk about the 4 books I read, which is the Me Before You by Yo-Yo Moyes. I don't know, have no idea how to say her last name. Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. The Things We Left Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. And The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Paston. 4 books that I read. This was supposed to be, well, this was a sad books vlog. And I got all these books from like TikTok saying that they were like sad books and stuff. You saw, especially this one, The 7 Year Slip. I saw a lot of booktubers like reading this book and just sobbing to it, which I understand why. But let's talk about it, like the first one. This one, obviously, it was sad to me. It didn't make me cry as much because I already knew what was gonna happen. Obviously, I've seen the movie. The movie makes me like sob, but I already know what happened. So yeah, it is sad. Obviously, it's a happy. I think, like in my opinion, they're not like sad books. They're sad parts to them. But this one, I actually gave this a 4 stars, which, like I said, I've said it again and again. Love the movie way better than the actual book. But the book did have a lot more details than the movie does. But the next book I read was Pack Up the Moon, which I absolutely love this book. I gave this a 4.5. It did remind me of P.S. I Love You. This one did make me cry a lot. Like from, I want to say from the beginning to all the way to the end. I don't think I recorded me crying, myself crying, but because I read most of this book, I read it in class when my kids were sleeping. It's really good. Basically, she passes and she leaves letters for a year, and every letter is like a new task for him to do, and so he can kind of like not forget about her, but kind of like move on from her death. It's just like him struggling with grieving her, and like not just him, but it was like his family struggling. I mean, her, well, kind of like talks about everybody struggling, like her sister, his family, her best friend, like just kind of struggling through her passing. So then yeah, like I said, she leaves like letters each month, and then there's different tasks, and he kind of like, I guess like the letters kind of help him move on from the situation. This one did make me cry a lot. The next book I read was The Things We Leave Unfinished. I gave this book a 4 stars. Honestly, I loved the back and forth of like the story, like how they told the story of the, like back in the World War II, and then it came back to like present time. I love that part, but in all honesty, like I want to say half of the first part. It was really slow for me. It took about 50% of the book for me to actually start getting into it and actually start liking it, because I feel like the first part of the book I only liked when they were talking about Christine. Was it Christine? Scarlett. They were really talking about Scarlett and Jameson's like story, like telling the story of their love and stuff. I only liked that part. And then when it came to like the part about Georgia and Noah, to me it was like super slow. But then like when 50% of the book was done, that's when it started getting better and better and better. So basically this is based in like two timelines, the World War II timeline and like the present timeline, where Georgia is trying to, well, her mom like made this deal or something like that, like they're trying to finish Scarlett's book that she never like continued, but that was like more of her like actual story, not like a book. So she kind of wrote like the story of her life. She finds this guy, he's a writer, Noah, so they hired him to finish the book, but she doesn't like his book, so she was like iffy, like I don't know if I want to, you know, like I don't know if I want you to finish my, I think her great grandma's books. And so then they have like their own love story, and then we're going back and forth like I mentioned, and telling Scarlett's and Jameson's love story. But there's like a twist in this, like towards the end, where it just left me mouth open. I was like, are you serious right now? Which I loved. It was fun. The last book I read was The 7 Year Slip, and I absolutely love this book. I gave this book a 4.75 stars. I thought it was amazing. Basically, Clementine inherits this apartment from her late aunt, and she like figures out the apartment's like magical, and it goes 7 years in the past, and she meets this guy, and there's, like her aunt said, there's two rules in the apartment: always take your shoes off and never fall in love. Well, I guess what happened. But it is like basically based, it is talk about her grieving her late aunt. I freaking love it. But it was a pretty good book. And that's it for this reading blog. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.